So, with all the hype around these days with the off-road segment, it is a pretty exciting time to be a car guy, a truck guy. There's really a lot out there nowadays. So, with everyone kind of having an angle, their own version of all these popular segments, there's one opportunity that Dodge has that could be really awesome and that they need to take. But I have a sad feeling they won't. You see, FCA has plenty of off-road offerings. I just mentioned they have the Jeep Wrangler, and then they also have the Jeep Gladiator, and of course the Ram trucks. You can take a Ram off-road, of course, but they have more specifically the Ram Rebel for the half-ton off-road truck, and then of course the almighty Ram Power Wagon. And though these are excellent offerings, no doubt, I really think that they should have something to compete. Yes, with the Wrangler, have some fun inter-company competition. That's not uncommon at all. And more specifically, something to, I think, more directly compete with the Bronco, and more specifically, conquer the Bronco. You see, the Bronco isn't technically out yet, right? It's not going to hit dealers till next year. But I have a strong feeling that it's going to come and it's going to conquer. I think it's going to be extremely popular. I think it's going to sell like crazy. The pre-orders are a very, very official indication of that. FCA as a whole with the Jeep Wrangler is going to be a little bit taken back by this. They're going to be a little nervous, I think. No, the Wrangler's never going to be dethroned, so to say, because it's so popular. But they're going to lose some people. They're going to lose a little chunk or a big chunk of that segment. So they need to conquer it with some inner competition of their own. Yes, the Wrangler will still sell, but they need to have something a little more vintage, like people will like on the Bronco. And the answer, obviously, is Dodge needs to make the Ram Charger. Or Ram. Yes, I'm going to get the comments. Well, it's not Dodge, it's Ram. I know, it is Ram. You're right. Would it be the Ram Charger? The Dodge Ram Charger? Okay, maybe they're going to have to mess with the name there. But this needs to come back. You can see renderings over here. Picture it in your head. I mean, make changes to these renderings in your head. These are just renderings after all. But this thing would look awesome. Now, of course, it would have to compete with the Bronco and even the Wrangler to be worthy of being in this segment. It would obviously have to have a two-door and a four-door version. The two-door wouldn't sell many, I'm sure, just like there's not many two-door SUVs anymore, and that's understandable. This would be really, really neat, and this would be a lot different than a Durango. Yes, they already have the Durango SUV, but this is definitely not thought of at all as an off-road segment vehicle. It is unibody. It is, basically like a Mercedes SUV underneath. It is definitely just made to take the family around to the mall and to the grocery store. It is not at all an off-road threat. I think if they're going to build a Ram Charger, this is how you do it. You have a 2 and a 4-door version. You have an affordable model. You have to have a lot of trims, so you need to have at least 5 or 6 trims. You need to have a base one, and then you need to have a fully loaded one with a lot of cool tech and features, and then maybe you have the most expensive one being a mix of tech and features with more heavy, robust, off-road duty parts. Then you need to have a range of drivetrains as well. So FCA has a lot that they could throw at this, and that they should be throwing at the Wrangler as well. Standard should be the go-to, very familiar 3.6-liter Pentastar. That should be your base engine. It would work in this because it should be small enough and nimble enough to where this would be a good engine for this vehicle. Would have adequate power, be nice and lightweight, and give you a good mix of on and off-road driving, and hopefully fuel economy. Then I think they should get creative. I think they should slam probably the 5.7-liter Hemi in there. If they want to go crazy, they can throw the 6.4 in there as well. I doubt they would, but I think people would be very happy to just get the 5.7 liter in there. I think that would be awesome to have a Hemi option. I think they would fly off the showroom. Now, keep in mind, this would be different than the Wrangler. This will be built on most likely a Ram 1500 architecture if they can do it. So keep in mind that this would be a solid rear axle, but it would probably be IFS. It would probably be independent front suspension, which is fine. People have argued about this for decades. I lean towards a solid axle crowd, but nowadays, as long as you have a toughly built IFS, it can perform great in most situations. And so it would be IFS, solid rear, kind of like the Bronco. You would have a lot of trims. It would hopefully have features that support the lifestyle vehicle crowd. So hopefully you would have like stock aftermarket choices, tons of racks and used for gear, all the off-road doodads that you can get for, Wranglers and apparently the Bronco as well. So a lot of gimmicky stuff that can keep people happy in that regard. And then maybe even some sort of removable roof, because that's very important to have that open feel in these vehicles. I doubt they would go like full-on doors off, roof off, but as long as they have something, or like a soft top feature, something to make it along those lifestyle vehicle qualifications. And then I also think for drivetrain that they need to throw in the diesel. They'll never throw the Cummins in there, of course, but I think as long as they throw in the Eco Diesel, some people would be happy that they have a diesel option, very decent towing numbers, and of course great fuel economy, as well as have a mountain of torque in any situation on or off-road. And then the given, obviously it has to be four-wheel drive. I think everyone knows that. And have some tire choices. This is one thing that I really think would be an advantage for these manufacturers to do. I get that it all comes down to cost and cost cutting and ease of assembly, but if they could have multiple, at least two tire choices for each size, definitely have like one with a 31, a 33, and maybe even a 35-inch tire, and maybe throw a couple choices, like one like a mild all-terrain that's more generic for all uses, and maybe have give people the option to get a mud terrain or a hybrid tire right off the showroom floor. This would be quite a cool move, and I think would attract a lot of buyers as well. And then the one that we wish we would have is, some people would still want a stick shift. I'm a huge manual transmission guy. I love stick shifts. But off-road, which would be my interest in this vehicle, I am a fan of automatic. So obviously they would have an automatic, maybe try and throw in a stick shift for those people. But I honestly don't see a lot of people get stick shift Wranglers. I don't think a lot of people order a stick shift Bronco. And the same would be for a Ram Charger. I don't think a lot of people would opt for it, so it probably wouldn't happen. But that's pretty much it, guys. What would you guys think of a Ram Charger coming to the ball game here? It is a good time for off-roading, and there are a lot of cool competition between the Bronco and the Wrangler and elsewhere. So I think it would be pretty cool to throw this in there. And I think they would be smart for doing it. I do think it would sell on some sort of level. So what do you guys think down below? Tell me. And tell me what you would take a Bronco or a Wrangler or a Ram Charger if they made it. Tell me what you would put on there that I did not mention. That's about it, guys. Thank you for watching. Remember to throw a thumbs up on there. Click that like button. And click that red subscribe button until it turns gray with the check mark. Ring the bell. You know the deal. Thank you so much. I'll catch you later.